Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the CRUBCAST. My name is JTard9, and I am here with Wolfkaosaun Sean.
Hi.
And I'm also here with Scrum the Squirt Goblin Brody Rocks. How you doing, Brody?
Hello. Would you like to play some Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links?
Only if we get to do it on my anime list. Because that's the point of the episode.
I believe they have that available as an anime to watch them play Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel. I'm not going to do this character the whole time. I just need to bring Scrum out because Scrum is the most anime thing I have available.
I don't know if that's the case, but I'm going to agree with you for now.
I was just very happy you didn't go with Piss Olaf. That's all I'm saying.
Piss Olaf.
I can.
Don't do it. No.
Do you want to see?
No.
There he is.
There he is. No.
There he is.
All right.
Why is he so hairy on his fist?
Well, this episode, we were, I wouldn't say we, Mykonos fan Chris and Brody were going through my anime list while I wasn't around and were roasting me on my ratings for anime. And so I thought, hey, why don't we just do that as an episode? Because that sounds like a lot of fun.
But without Chris.
Yeah, Chris is busy, so we can't do it with Chris. But we got Sean here, and Sean watches anime.
Yeah, Sean watches anime. Chris has just started his weeb phase, so we'll maybe revisit this concept a little bit down the line when he's watched some more.
I think that this kind of came up because Chris started, like, actually using my anime list.
Yeah, to track One Piece and all of these things.
And so he was like, well, shoot, I'm now using the service. I wonder if everyone else is. And that's how that's how Brody and Chris kind of went down that rabbit hole.
I recommended him like 25 different anime, and he added them all to my plan to watch. And afterwards, I went to my wife, and I'm like, "Do you think he's flirting with me?"
Yes,
because no one's ever taken that many recommendations from me so easily.
Depends if he watches them or not.
He's been watching some of them, so hey.
Okay, so he's gonna put out soon.
It's more about just like putting them on the list. Like that means a lot. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because your plan to watch is something that's vapid. It's something that you load up with a bunch of stuff and then you just start paring it down because you're just like, I'm never going to watch this. I don't have time for that.
Right.
We'll see how Lucy is. But today's about us.
Yeah, today's about us. Screw Chris Mykonos fan. He's out doing whatever.
Wood.
Okay, rock, paper, scissors. Who's going to go first? Whose list are we going to go first?
For being dunked on or doing the dunking?
For being dunked on, like we're gonna go look through their list first.
Okay. I'll play fair.
All right.
Honor system.
All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
I did scissors. We all did scissors.
Wait. All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Shoot. Okay. I did rock. Justin did rock.
And I did paper. Let's go.
So Sean, you get to pick. Do you want to go first, or who do you want to go first?
Oh, I don't want to go first. I'm gonna make. I'm gonna make you go first.
Me?
Yeah, why not?
I was like, because you could be either. We're on a podcast. Okay, we'll go with mine first.
Okay.
So my list
look at yours.
Is kind of a mix of a lot of stuff that I watched when I was in college. Because my anime journey started in my senior year of high school. And so a lot of stuff is not super, super old. Probably the oldest show on my list would probably be the little bit of Yu Yu Hakusho I watched.
Okay, that's not too bad. That's like 90s classic.
I didn't even put Dragon Ball on here because it was something that I watched when I was like 7.
I've only recently put it on as I started to go through it.
Yeah, I haven't revisited it as an adult, so I felt like it kind of didn't need to be on the list yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same for me with like Digimon and Pokemon. Like they're not on there.
Yeah,
I put them on. I didn't care.
I could be putting Pokemon on there because we do podcast them on the Patreon. Shout out to
That's
Patreon.
True.
Get that plug in early. But yeah, I just haven't because we're nowhere near done with Pokemon. So I was like, I could just keep updating it as we go, but like I don't feel the need to.
Well, right off the bat, Justin, I need to point something out. The sort of catalyst for all of this, and I know that Chris did ask me specifically to also call in. He wants to call in and ask you something, Justin. Specifically, why you rated Cyberpunk Edge Runners a 9, but Gurren Lagann only an 8. I would like to, on top of that, when I was scrolling through your list, I had the misfortune of seeing Gurren Lagann at an 8, and at the same millisecond, Sword Art Online at a 10. And I don't think I've ever been closer to throwing up in my life.
Sword Art Online is a modern classic. It's
wow.
It's a
that's a sentence you said.
Perfect.
You said that.
It's a perfect show for the storytelling, the feels that you have when you watch that. Now, Sword Art Online is the first anime I ever watched. Sword Art Online is the very first anime I ever watched.
That explains so much. You have no idea.
Yeah, right.
Right.
So like outside of like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, like stuff that you would see on like Toonami growing up, or like late night Cartoon Network. You know what I mean? Like Sword Art Online was the first show that I ever like found on a pirate website, watched the whole thing, and like I was in love. I loved it.
So you were going through like those first 12 episodes, like, this is so cool. I've never seen anything like this.
Bro,
I have no idea what dot hack is.
Yeah, no, never.
Oh,
never.
dot hack. Wow, dot hack.
So for those who don't know what Sword Art Online is, it's basically like the basic anime of like, yo, we're just gonna put you in a fantasy RPG. You're in a simulation, but if you die in the game, you die in real life. Like, it is the most boilerplate anime.
It was like pre the popularization of isekais, so it's not quite like another world. It's like he has a VR headset and a bunch of people sign up to have this like VR full body experience where like you're totally in the game, like senses and everything. Yeah. And then it turns out that the creator of it like locks him down and is like, yo, if you die in the game, you die in real life. If you try to take the headset off or quit the game, you just die. Like, you are trapped in this game until like, everyone beats it. And so everyone just sort of starts living their lives in the game, because what else can they do?
Yeah.
Well, until someone beats it.
Yes. Someone has to beat it for everyone to get out. So
yes, right. And it's a really cool concept.
It really is.
It's a really cool concept.
Because like
there's a
lot of people in the game who just decide to just fully go on domestic and just sort of like, I'm not going to explore. I'm not going to go and try and beat the game.
It's too dangerous.
This is just my life now. Yeah. Like I'm living here. This is my life. I'm not going to make that decision.
Yeah.
And like the kind of like politicking and everything that goes on in the first season of Sword Art Online, I will stand by. I think it's really cool. The first season of Sword Art Online, I would argue, is
the first 12 episodes, like the first half of that first season. Yeah, absolutely. Like, it goes into like ideas of like there's now player killers that like they go into like PvP zones and kill players and take their stuff, and this idea of like that obfuscation of killing in a game versus killing in real life and all of that stuff. It's like crazy. It's a really cool exploration of those concepts. And then
season 2
halfway
happens.
through,
and then season 2
not even season 2, just the second half of season 1 is just Elfheim Online, and all of a sudden
it's the worst. The worst.
Cousin / sister wants to get with him, and then they go to Gun Gale, and it's all about guns. And
the Gun Gale part was cool.
Yeah,
because it goes back to die in game, die in real life.
And then there was too much family stuff.
Yeah, the Gun Gale reveal was insane, where they're like, people are dying in the game again. Kirito, you have to figure out how to help us. And it was just that there was a guy. I should say probably full spoilers for a lot of stuff we talk about here.
For most of what we're talking about, we're sorry we're going to spoil things. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But like the reveal of the second season of Sword Art Online is very, very funny, because it's just a guy in the real world.
Just a guy going and killing people at the same time as they get killed in like game. It's
just like it'd be funny.
Yeah, like
ridiculous. It's
my ratings of Sword Art Online's like arcs. The first arc is by far and away the best arc of Sword Art Online. Then Gun Gale, then then Alfheim, and then the second half of second season of Sword Art Online is just like horrible. Like,
I've heard that spin-off, like Alicization or whatever it is, I've heard that's actually good, but I don't. I've been too burned on that series to even attempt it.
I've also heard that the Gun Gale specific series with the little girl, I've heard that's really good too. But
it's an awful sentence, I feel like. But
I watched the first episode and I didn't care. I was just like, I don't care. You burned the bridge. I'm sorry, Sword Art Online.
The other half of this, though, and that I need to point out, is that when Chris and I confronted Justin on this, Justin's defended his take of an 8 out of 10 for Gurren Lagann by saying, I just thought it was too much by the end.
Yes.
Too much.
To which the only reply I could give was that one meme of the like literal coolest thing ever, and the guy with his thinking hat going, "This f***ing sucks." Actually,
first swear jar, love it.
Yeah, but like I too much. That's the show.
But listen, the show had like the show had rules, and then they just decided we don't have rules anymore. Like by the end of the show, like I know that the idea of the show is that just depending on how much you want it, the drill goes down further. Like that's kind of like the whole concept of the show. Mm-hmm. But
the indomitable power of the human spirit.
Yeah, like that's the whole gimmick. But by the end of it, you're fighting in the middle of nowhere against ethereal beings that.
Dude, the literal like guy who is controlling the entire universe at a giant scale, basically doing what Lord Genome did to the humans, but to literally every sentient species, putting the entire cast into a pocket universe where they grow to the size of like multiple times the size of our actual observable universe, and they're throwing galaxies like they're shurikens. How is that not the coolest thing you've ever seen?
It's a lot, man. And by the end of it, I was invested in like the smaller scale things, and then it just went completely out of control. And I was like, bro, just what's going on?
The smaller scale. I feel like that series is defined by constantly going bigger and bigger and bigger every single episode.
The thing. It does do that. It's just not.
It goes to the highest. Apparently. It goes to the highest possible point. I don't think I've ever seen a piece of media outscope Gurren Lagann, because you just can't outscope Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, it literally goes to the very, very top. Like, again, you're fighting literal cosmic beings that are ethereal and have no form. Like
Gurren Lagann is Bloodborne.
Odd. It's just
not incorrect.
I remember watching that for the first time, right, as like a 15-year-old. Thinking it was the coolest thing ever. I watch that series probably every year and a half or so. Like I rewatch it, and it is still the coolest thing ever.
I'm not denying that it's cool. I'm just saying that, like, in terms of it being a story about characters and stuff like that, like there are other trigger shows that I resonated more with the characters. And
like what, Justin? Let's see what you rated them.
I really liked Kill la Kill.
Right, you did give that one a 9.
Good show.
Okay. I'm seeing.
Very good show.
And Kill la Kill is a great show. And the thing is I don't think that I know people who like Kill la Kill more than Gurren Lagann. I'm not going to say they're wrong. They are wrong, but I'm not going to say they're wrong.
You can tell me.
Kill la Kill is the only show, even made by Trigger, that I feel like has a right to call itself a successor to Gurren Lagann, because it is just that cool. Like it is awesome. It is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, it has the cool factor. But it also has, like, again, the scope is still gigantic, because at the end of that show it goes nuts.
It does go nuts, but it still doesn't try to go as big as Gurren Lagann, and I think that's because you can't, you literally can't outscope that show.
Yeah.
No.
So why, there's no point in trying. Go as big as it makes sense for the story that you're telling.
Right. Yeah. Go big or go home.
But that's why that show resonated more with me. Like I like Ryuko more than Simon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for the audience's sake, because there are probably people watching this that aren't really into anime, or if they are, they still don't know the shows we're talking about. Gurren Lagann is kind of like, it's one of the all-time greats from like 2007, 2008, and it's a show about a boy and his like adoptive older brother who they live underground. And they're not allowed to go to like the surface. And one day they just decide to break out to the surface and go. And then they find out that there's a bunch of like furries who are oppressing the human race using these giant mechs. They steal one of the mechs, and the younger one actually finds like a small one, and they were able to combine. And throughout the series, they just basically take their mech and combine it with bigger and bigger mechs that they're stealing from the people. And there's along the way, there's like other characters that help them out or against them. My favorite character in that show is Viral. He's kind of like the anti-hero, almost like the Shadow the Hedgehog position character of the series. And where he ends up going, like his character, it just resonated with me on so many levels. I love the way that they do his character, the way that he can't have what he wants, so he still is, but he's trying to fight for it anyway, and like all of these different things. It's just so good. And like Simone, his whole coming of age story is amazing. Kill la Kill on the flip side is sort of, I've seen things where they say like that where Gurren Lagann is like the coming of age story for like men, Kill la Kill is the coming of age story for women of the same caliber.
I can't
written by men, so that's
I'm not a woman.
You know, yeah, exactly. It's written by men, so that's whatever. And 2025 gender norms, all that shit. But like that's, I guess, the central conceit almost in a way where Gurren Lagann wants to sort of deconstruct the mecha genre and almost parody it, but like in a way that goes bigger than it ever has. Kill la Kill wants to do the same for the magical girl genre, right? Like Sailor Moon, Madoka Magica, all of that. And so they're kind of two sides of the same coin in a lot of ways. Really cool. Kill la Kill is about a girl who her father is murdered and she wants to find the killer and like get revenge, bring them to justice. So she has to enroll in this school who's like, the school runs the town and it's all run by like a fascist dictator, and she has to do this whole tournament to win, and then it blows up from there in typical Trigger fashion.
Trigger cannot not jump the shark.
No, and that's what I love. I love that about them, and that's why I love Gurren Lagann, because that is the most jumped shark. Like, you're not wrong to say that it's a lot, but the idea that it's too much is crazy to me, because it is exactly what it needs to be.
You argue that it's exactly enough.
Right, like any less, and I would be disappointed that they didn't go bigger. To the point where I actually recently found out that the movies, because the movies are basically recap movies, but they add a little bit at the end. Like the first movie is just a recap of the first half, but it adds a 20 minutes of footage, final battle with like the four, and they kind of Voltron into like a big mech of the four commanders. And then the second movie, which is a little more substantial and more worth watching, adds like 45 minutes of new footage, which is like half that movie's runtime, adds a new ending where they go even bigger than the series. And I just found out like a couple years ago that it finally got dubbed. And I'm like, I've watched that movie subbed. I watched it once and I was like, that's awesome. But I never watch it when I rewatch because I watch dubbed. Having found this out, I'm like, I'm going to go rewatch that soon. And I think it's going to change my life.
Do it today. You know what? You should do it tonight. Right after you fit.
No, just literally do it right now while we're doing the podcast.
Yeah, right now. Right now. Change your life on camera. As Scrum.
Go to nya.si and find my dual audio torrent.
All those words.
While Brody's looking for a rip on the internet, Sean, is there anything else you want to pick apart on my list before we jump over to someone else's?
The one thing that like stood out to me immediately was Death Parade being the only other anime that got a 10 out of 10.
I noticed that too, and honestly, like Death Parade deserves it.
It's the only series, because there's one other 10 out of 10, which for everyone who wants to look at our lists, we'll have Chris throw them in the show notes. But yeah, no, Death Parade's phenomenal.
Okay.
It is very good. I
was like, it was. And I was a little disappointed that there wasn't more to it, because it kind of leaves on like some cliffhangers or what have you. I was like, I want to know more.
That's kind of why I respect it so much, because it is what it is. They could do a second season and I wouldn't be mad.
It feels like it was set up for a second season.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like there was more there.
Yeah, because there's like a whole bunch of lore that I don't understand or really get. There's backstories and what have you. But like at the same time, it came out for what it set out for one thing, and I feel like fully accomplished it. It just left me wanting more. And I think I would rather want more than want less.
Exactly.
Ironic. But yeah, I was like, I read that. I'm like, immediately had to point that out. Now I have to like look at the rest of your list.
It's definitely one of those where it's like, again, what Sean said is like exactly how I feel. I would rather want more from the show than be like, it went on too long.
That it was too much.
Yeah. Like,
100%. Yeah. I'm sorry, I can't let it go. It's an insane take.
Gosh.
What do you mean?
Also appreciate appreciate BNA being on there also.
BNA was
should
good.
be higher.
BNA was good.
I forgot about that.
A lot of Trigger shows are good. Trigger makes good shows.
Trigger shows are generally good. And I feel like that's going to be a little bit of foreshadowing.
There's one that I watched that's on my list that's not the best. Kisnivers was that.
Kisniver's a little rough. Kisniver's a little rough.
It was it really disappointed me because the ending was so bad.
And you still gave it a 7.
Nah, I mean, it was good enough for me to watch through the end. Like,
yeah, I guess.
I see a 7 as like, well, 6 is my baseline of, okay, like you could watch this.
I would say so as well.
It's 7 and above, like, is like, all right, I enjoyed parts of this. It's flawed, but I enjoyed parts of this. 8's where I'm like, this show's really good. I recommend it. And then 9 is like, oh yeah, these are some of the best that I've seen. And then I only have 2 10 out of 10. I have 3 10 out of 10s. One of them is your names. And if you're a member of the Patreon, you've heard my opinion on Your Name. That movie's great. Death Parade, for those who don't know, it's a show about a bunch of games, and if the person who is playing the game doesn't succeed, they die.
Well, they've already died.
I wasn't gonna give the spoiler, but
it's in
the first episode.
That's the central premise of the show.
Right.
Yeah, it's the first episode. You learn that in the first episode, but like that was the hook that got me like, wow, this is really, really cool. Right. In that first episode where like they're doing the death game, they have all this tension of like, are they going to make it? Are they going to betray each other? How is it going to go? And then it just turns out they're actually both dead and they're both like living with the consequences of their actions.
And it's like, are you going to super die or are you going to reincarnate?
Right. Because they have to like play against each other where it's like, one of these people is going to basically be sent to hell. And one is going to be reincarnated. And like, are you going to betray each other? Are you going to go up together? And the thing that I really like is they put you in the eyes of one of basically the main character of the entire series, where you don't know whether, what the right choice is. You don't know right from wrong. There's red herrings, and sometimes there's been times where they don't get the right answer. They're like, okay, I choose this person. And it's like, oh, actually, that person was actually very, very awful. And I like that because it's like, it's not the best one always wins.
And it's also like, there's no one that's infallible.
Yeah. It shows that like
very good show. Banger opening.
Oh,
banger
God,
opening.
yeah. Oh,
like
in that show?
Honestly, like go either pause this or go after and look up the Death Parade opening. It is one of the greats. It is incredible.
Oh, so good.
The rest of your list is there's nothing too egregious, I would say, on it. You don't have anything like that should be like you don't have anything rated like super low that would be like inflammatory, and the rest of it's kind of like straddling between like 7 and 9. Can tell that 9 is your upper of where like unless something's really special, you won't give it a 10, but you will give like the good ones a 9.
Yeah, right. There's just some really fun shows on
which makes the slight of Gurren Lagann being an 8 even worse, but that's neither here nor there.
I'm gonna just stand there because I could change it, but I'm not going to. Like for posterity, I'm not gonna change it. There's some really funny things that I forget. Like I'm glad that I have my anime list because there's a lot of things that I just straight up forgot that I watched.
Yeah, like I forgot about BNA, for example.
BNA is one of those where every time I see it, I'm like, oh, that show is good. I like that one.
Yeah, it's like, I remember that was a good time.
I watched that and I was immediately like, oh, this is why they got the contract to do Edge Runners.
Yeah,
that's just what that show is very stylistically similar.
Yeah,
no, 100%. 100%.
Are we taking on Sean or me next?
Sean, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10.
7.
It was 4. Brody, you want to go first? Do you want Sean to go?
Let's go, Sean.
Let's go, Sean.
All right, let's go.
I'm gonna delay my inevitable demise.
Yeah. And just so some of you know, I was told, hey, you should make a My Anime list, and I have an old one. You're not going to be able to find it because it's not any kind of wolf thing.
It's not wolf related, so
not wolf related in any way, shape, or form. And also, I don't remember what email I used. I couldn't even I found it because I remember the username. I'm like, yeah, I was a teenager once.
Bear your sins. We're going to get to mine, and you're going to see the shit I watched when I was 14.
Well, to be fair, No. Anyway, so this is
Bear
all
your sins, coward.
I did. Look at my list and tell me there's not sins.
Yeah, there's some stuff on here because again, so I was looking through the list so I don't have to scroll too much to get to something to talk about. What on earth's name is Wolfrain? Wolfsrain? Like, what is that?
Wolfsrain is one of my favorite pieces of media of all time. Yes, I love wolves, but like
I saw the title. I saw the title and I just started laughing. I'm like, Sean, you would put this as a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, but it is because it's set in a post-apocalyptic world where these wolves are going extinct and wolves have learned how to change their shapes and look like human. Yeah, I know it's.
So the humans on this poster are wolves.
They all are, except for the one who's like kind of a wolf, kind of. Anyway, but here's the thing: they're trying to find heaven. They're trying to find their afterlife. They're trying to find like the sanctuary. And again, they're going extinct. So, without going into detail, this story is about, in my opinion, it's about outcasts finding that hope when the world's against them and learning how to trust. But also vice versa, trusting those that are outcast, trusting those that, have been down on their luck, those that have been cast aside from society, and seeing things from the other point of view, trying to help those to seek, in some ways, redemption, some ways salvation, in some ways just to be treated like everyone else. Because it's not until there's a scene in the first episode where it's going to be spoiler. There's a scene in the first episode where like one of the wolves, they're, looking like a human, and they're with this kid. This kid is essentially an orphan and what have you. And long story short, the kid ends up slipping and he goes to try to like save the kid, transforms into a wolf really quick, and the kid like jerks back, like gets away from him, thus falling to his death. And that was the moment it really hit me like, wow, sometimes our own subconscious pulls us back from things that we're afraid of, things that we don't know, and things that like we haven't fully accepted of ourselves or, things around us. So I watched this, and this was also like the first anime I actually watched with my dad because it was on Toonami. It was on late at night. And sure, I had Dragon Ball Z on all the time. I had Sailor Moon on, Mobile G Gundam. But Wolfsrain was like us sitting in the living room, putting that on, and watching my dad kind of understand something that I enjoyed. And that was very different at the time. Mm-hmm. So it holds a special place in my heart. And also, the person who made Wolfsrain, I'll get back to that because I just blanked on it. Because she made something else, and I cannot for the life of me remember. I
will try and figure that out while we talk. Because this is one of those shows that literally I just looked at the name and the picture, and I just saw like mid 2000s anime aesthetic with a bunch of wolves, and I'm like, this is the most Sean coded thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
And the soundtrack goes unbelievably hard. So good. It has the essence of, the spirit, that movie. A better soundtrack than that. Boom.
My question to you, Sean, is what makes it deserving of 3 points, being 3 points higher than Kirby's Right Back at You?
Kirby's Right Back at You, I haven't watched since I was a kid, but I really enjoyed it. But also I saw some episodes and I was like, it's okay.
The dub gave Meta Knight like a Spanish sword fighter accent.
It did. So I do appreciate that. That's characterization for that character that doesn't exist.
Right, but and it gave King DDD like King DDD got like a foghorn leghorn. Like, why is this at a 7? Is what I'm wondering.
No one dies. That's the issue.
No one dies,
nobody dies.
Yeah, nobody dies. Like, come on, Kirby falls into an abyss and doesn't die. Wolfsrain, someone falls into an abyss, and you're like, oh, they're dead.
They're not coming back. Yeah.
Dead. Yeah, they don't come back.
But if Kirby falls, Kirby's coming back. He's right back at you.
Yeah, there's no consequences. He just keeps King DDD just keeps getting money, keeps raking in them dollars.
So I think the name of the producer for Wolfsrain is Masahiko Minami. And one of the things that is on here is they did Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Ooh.
And they did Cowboy Bebop and I believe Soul Eater. At least that's what,
that's another. So probably work for Bones. Another thing I was gonna point out here is you've got Sean. You've watched Full Metal Alchemist 03, and you've given it an 8, which I don't think is unfair. But you don't have Brotherhood.
Have you not watched
Brotherhood?
Brotherhood?
I haven't watched it yet. I haven't watched it.
That's fascinating.
And also, I'm currently still watching Full Metal Alchemist because I used to like watch it every now and then when it would come on late at night, but I just never did a
Brotherhood.
No. He's doing the right thing. You should watch 03 first. You should watch 03 first. That is the correct thing.
I remember the most from that, and I remember episodes here and there, but like it's one of those series that I was always like, okay, I want to start at the beginning, and I just haven't done that. It's one of those things that like has just been like one of the biggest backlogs in everything, not even just anime, but games, movies, what have you. It's just like, I'll watch Full Metal Alchemist. One day. It'll happen one day.
It's one of those where it's always on the back burner for me. It's always on the back burner for me. I just know it's good. So like, if I ever need a good show, it's like, I know I can pull that out.
It's
and that's sort of the crazy thing, Justin, for me, is that you have seen so many anime and you haven't seen either one of the FMAs.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen either. There's a lot. I mean, my taste in media is very weird because I watch a lot of random stuff, but none of like the super big hitters that everyone's like, oh, if you're getting into this like genre, you should probably watch that. Like,
which makes sense.
Like no Death Note. I haven't watched any JoJo. I haven't watched any Full Metal Alchemist.
JoJo I watched by accident. I got sick one time and I'm like, okay, I can't move from this couch. I'm going to finally see and understand these JoJo references everyone keeps mentioning. And, you know, now it's like one of my favorite anime of all time and manga that I still read to this day.
Only an 8 out of 10 though.
Only 8 out of 10.
Which one?
I think they're all rated 8 out of 10.
Part 5,
that's not true.
Part 6. Part
no,
6
no.
Part 6 is Part 6 is all an 8 out of 10. Part 5 is an 8 out of 10.
Part 4 is an 8 out of 10, and that's the best one.
No.
No. Stardust Crusaders is a 9.
Yeah, Stardust Crusaders is a 9, which is insane because that's one of the worst, but that's okay.
It's okay to be wrong, Brody. Like the thing that I always loved about JoJo's is like every series, every like different part is like a different anime. Like for example, like Part 3 is very like Power Rangers Monster of the Week, but like you have an overarching villain. Whereas like JoJo Part 4 is very slice of life with some murder mystery going on. Part 5 is like a whole mafia situation going on. Where it's like, who's the bad guy? It's a mafia mystery. Still mad about one of my favorite characters dying in that. And then Part 6,
it was JoJo.
It's just it is. Anyway, Part 6 is very JoJo's do die.
The Bizarre Adventure
Part 6 is very. Hey, it doesn't. Trust me, it doesn't. Part 6 was, you know, get out of jail. Part 2 was very Indiana Jones like. Part 1 was
bad.
I like how it ends. I like that JoJo. I like the build up that it has. But if I didn't like the other parts, I wouldn't like Part 1, if that makes sense.
That does make sense.
Because there's a payoff. Because there's a payoff to everything. Because there's like, oh, there's this like deep rooted hatred.
Right. Watching Part 1 is very much doing your homework, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
Is like I think some people will start the series, and they'll skip to Part 3 or they'll skip to Part 4 or whatever it is, and that's as much as I'm very dour on Part 1 and 3, like it is very much like if you do your homework, it is more rewarding later.
Oh, absolutely.
3 I just find very basic in comparison to the stuff that does come later, right? Like you have like 3, the powers are this guy punches hard, this guy has fire, this guy has vines. 4 is like this this guy he puts a bomb into your eye that turns back time, and every time that the specific thing happens, time goes backwards, and you have to. The main character's power is he basically reverses cause and effect on a thing, and then Part 5 is like, what if you had a guy that just skipped cause and effect, and
what if he said no?
What if there was a guy who had the power of spores who, whenever you go up in verticality in any capacity, you start growing spores on you that kill you. So you literally, once you start fighting him within his range, you can't elevate to any capacity.
Yeah.
Like, that's the kind of crazy, weird puzzle fight stuff that I really like. Yeah. And then it just makes everything that came before it just seem very, like, basic. Plus, stylistically, I think part 4 is the first time that I was looking at the screen and not wanting to vomit from what I was looking at.
The thing is, they use such weird colors. They use such weird colors in JoJo too, because it's bizarre. I
like the weird colors. They actually do. The weird colors kind of go away in part 3, and they kind of come back in part 4, at least for the anime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But part 3 is just like, I hate the shininess on the sides of their noses and all of these like weird. It's just like too detailed. It's like the same reason I won't watch Baki, and like that's just.
That's fair, because Baki. But the difference with Baki, I think, is it has like that body horror element on purpose.
100%. That's on purpose.
And with JoJo, it's very like stylish, and it's very like, hey, we need everything to look a certain way with everything, which does turn things into like kind of uncanny valley, but also I think it just kind of adds to the like art of it, because it's like, wow, it really is so weird that they're doing these Vogue poses in 1778.
Yeah, well, it's like
and Jesus is in one of them.
It's still entertaining, right? Like, Jonathan Joestar is probably the best character in the series across the 3 parts that he's in.
He's the nicest.
For anybody who hasn't watched the show and wants to know what JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is about, Google it. I can't explain JoJo.
The easiest thing you can say is it's generational. Like, every part follows a new member of the Joestar family across like literally centuries of time.
And the generational hatred of the Dio line of the Joestars. Like, it just passes down from generation to generation. So it's just like different people's like parents and grandparents all fighting each other.
God. Yeah, Dio's the original hater, like 1000%. That man.
Oh my God, the things he doesn't see in part 1 is ridiculous.
Part everything. Yeah, everything that he does.
The main what happens in JoJo in part 1 specifically, because I watched a YouTube essay about it, and the things he does are just obscene.
Oh yeah, and that's something that I always appreciated that like Araki did, was to show like, oh hey, these people suck.
You're okay
I would
to
never
hate
want
them.
to hurt. Yeah, like which in part 7, so many people love the villain in that he's like, I have to make everyone hate this guy. How can I make him hate? I know what to do. He likes little kids. Boom. Now everyone hates this guy. I'm not kidding.
He does that a lot with like, oh, this character kills puppies.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, didn't need more of a reason to hate the guy. Cool. Done.
Yeah. But like, so many people were liking the villain. It doesn't matter. So many people were loving the villain in part 7, which is the president of the United States. And eventually it was like, okay, I need to make people dislike this guy. He's a PDF. Cool. Hate him now, please. And there you go. They hated him. Anyway, moving on.
Release the JoJo files.
I only have one more thing that I have to bring up about Sean's list, because there's some really good shows on here. I love that you watch Space Dandy. That's a really fun one. Beastars is a very Sean. Beastars is a very Sean.
Beastars is good.
Show.
Beastars is good.
It's a very Sean show, but I know that it's good. Like, everyone that's ever watched it and talked about it said it was good. I got raked over the coals for it. Sean, why did you rate Gurren Lagann an 8 out of 10?
That, you know what? I was thinking about pointing that out, but Sean did have the good sense to rate SAO lower than Gurren Lagann, so it didn't strike me as quite as egregious.
Did you watch the first season of SAO? I couldn't find that one on there. I know you watched SAO 2, because that one's a 3 out of 10.
Yeah, it's on here. God, that's even better. First season is a 7 out of 10 on here.
That makes sense. Yeah. That does make sense.
Which, like,
I love that you
I liked it.
I could go in and be like.
Also, you both have watched. Never mind. I'll get back to that when it's Brody's turn. But
okay.
I like Fairy Tail as much as the next guy, but you rated Gurren Lagann and Fairy Tail the same, which is insane to me.
I mean, I haven't watched it all the way through, so I don't know how I feel about Fairy Tail yet.
Oh, Fairy Tail. Okay, I was about to say. Yeah. You said you. It says on here you finished Gurren Lagann. Yeah.
No, Gurren Lagann's done. Fairy Tail.
There's 175 episodes of Fairy Tail. I feel like. No disrespect to Fairy Tail.
There's 325 episodes, not counting the sort of Boruto series that's happening right now.
No disrespect to Fairy Tail. You should not watch that much Fairy Tail.
Fairy Tail is, this is the thing, is like some people are like, oh, I like this show because it's like for like other shows, it's like, oh, you should watch this show, you should watch Jujutsu Kaisen or Solo Leveling. Like, yeah, the writing's bad, but the fights are good in the anime. It's like, listen, I have watched 325 episodes of Fairy Tail. I have had enough. It's fun, and that's all it needs to be in my life.
Yeah,
I need more than fun.
No,
which makes sense.
Solo Leveling is the epitome of.
Like, give me some substance. I've tried to watch Jujutsu Kaisen, for the record, 3 times, and the third time I got 17 episodes in, I could not tell you anything that happens in that show. I was bored out of my goddamn mind.
I mean, it happens. And also, that's why, like, you need variety. Like, one of my... it's not super high on, like, my anime list, which is Berserk, but also Berserk is, like, one of my favorite media pieces of all time.
Well, it's rough because there's no real good anime, There's no really good anime adaptation of that manga.
Yeah.
Like, the manga's legendary.
Mm-hmm.
But
and even with that said, I wouldn't recommend that manga to everybody. I remember, like, on TikTok, I watched this grandpa who, like, really likes to read a lot of books and what have you, and it was... his granddaughter was like, hey, you should try watching this or reading this. And then she was getting him, like, into anime and into manga. And so we, as an entire group, had to watch this old man read Berserk. We knew what was going to happen. This man was always like, I kind of like Griffith.
Oh, no. Uh-oh.
So to watch him go like, I like Griffith, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, there's one thing he said specifically was like, I really hope better days are ahead for Casca or something along those lines. And I was like, I'm not going to say what happens. It's very dark, very bad. And again, this manga is not for everybody, but it was like watching a meteor come to Earth with all the dinosaurs, and there's nothing you can do. It's just like, well, this is happening. Yep. We're in this together. And then watching his reaction was just like, Griffith, may history forget your name, or something along those lines. And I was like, yeah,
you got there.
Yeah. But the one thing that I like about Berserk, and I'm going to be done gushing after this, but the one thing I love about Berserk is it's not just about empathy. It's also about strength, and it's about, like, finding that strength to stand up not only for yourself, but for others, because we've all found these moments of our lives where we just feel like a shell of our former self. And we've all had to deal with some, like, charismatic, egotistical person who tries to control us. We all have dealt with these similar issues, but to see someone who has screwed up, who continues to mess up, but he keeps fighting, he keeps pushing back, he keeps going forward, despite the odds, despite bad things continuing to happen. It's finding that strength and that empathy to keep going, not only for yourself, but for those around you. And I think that's why I love Berserk, because, man, things get really bad constantly. People have really bad lives. Look, not everything's black and white. Some of the villains have actually good motives. They have, like, a sad backstory. It's like, I understand why you would be like that. Some of the heroes have a lot of bad in them. And so it's one of those situations where, like, it's not just, hey, good versus evil, but it's like finding that good in yourself during the bad.
Yeah, just like deeply flawed people just trying to get through life.
Sean, that was absolutely beautiful. Could I ask you to wax just as poetically about the 7 out of 10 Zoids?
Yes, I don't remember it very much, but I remember watching the one VHS tape that was, like, I think 3 episodes, and I loved those, but I don't remember anything else about the series, so I was like, I can't give it anything higher than the 7.
You were like, I know I liked it.
But I don't remember. I was like, the VHS specifically, and I did watch the entire thing one time, like, around high school, and then that was it, and I have not watched it since, but I know I was like, yeah, no, that was good.
And I'm surprised for you specifically, Sean, that Inuyasha isn't higher.
I do.
That feels like a Sean show.
It definitely does. I really enjoy that show.
Oh no!
I probably have to rewatch it because I'm only going off of, like, whenever I first
what you remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then that's fair.
Yeah. Where some of these, like, for example, I have Attack on Titan on a 9. If you would have, if I probably watched them back to back, maybe Inuyasha is going to be higher. Maybe I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah,
no, that's fair. And I think we're going to see a lot of that, I think, especially when we get to mine, because I didn't use my anime list for probably, like, close to 5 to almost 10 years at one point, because I just was like, I used it a lot as a teenager to track everything because I was watching a lot of anime at the time. And then as time went on, it was like, oh, I'm keeping up with My Hero and I'm keeping up with One Piece, but I'm not watching a whole lot of new stuff seasonally. If something big comes out that like, gets a lot of eyes on it, like maybe I'll wait till it's done and like then I'll watch it, like Fire Force or something like that. Not that that's done, but I kind of went back and watched it. It was like, there hasn't been a whole lot in the last 5 to 10 years that has like actually got me like go like, yeah, I want to watch that. Because like I feel like I don't trust the hype anymore, because I feel like a lot of like anime is bigger than it's ever been, which means a lot of people who are teenagers are getting into it, watching the more modern stuff and what's available to them now versus like what was available when I was getting into it. And so they'll start with things like Attack on Titan and then say that that's the best anime ever, which is a fucking crazy take. But
another one
that gets them into, then they go to Solo Leveling or Jujutsu Kaisen and they're like, oh my God, the animation and the fight's amazing. I'm like, yeah, but where's the substance? Like, where's the...
it feels.
Where's... Yeah, why do I care? And like, why should I care? I love animation. That's why I like this medium of. I love animation. When I first found anime and like actually really got into it, it was like, oh my God, something different than just like the cartoons I'm used to seeing on YTV and Teletoon and shit. And so I'm just like, in the last 5 years, I think probably it's been the stuff that's actually resonated with me. It's like Mob Psycho 100. Was really good.
Great job.
I'm sad that I slept on that. That was awesome.
Valid.
Bones did a great job. Crazy animation, good writing. Apothecary Diaries is one that I recently got into, which is really cool, and that kind of put me on a historical fiction kick, which then led me. Yeah, that one led me to Vinland Saga. My buddies put Vinland Saga on Saga. I have so when I started watching, it was like my top 3 are Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Gurren Lagann, and Baccano. And Baccano is just like, it's such a me anime that it can't not be my number one.
It's like a time capsule. It's like a timepiece, right?
Right.
Oh, for sure.
And like it's not, well, it's like 1930s Prohibition era gangsters, but it's ensemble cast where there's no one main character and it's told non-linearly. Like it's 100% some Brody shit right there. And so that, I thought for sure for a very long time that nothing was ever going to top those 3. Like I've had like JoJo's Part 4 and One Piece and Gintama all kind of hit like number 4 or 5 at a point for me. But I was like, nothing is breaking that top 3. I watched the 2 seasons that are available of Vinland Saga. If I refuse to give it to it yet because it's not done, but if it even maintains the level of quality that those seasons were, and I've heard it actually even gets better than it already has been, but even if it just maintains that level of quality, like that's a contender for my number 1. Vinland Saga is one of the most incredible shows I've ever seen in my life.
Valid.
And that's crazy that you're giving it that much praise. I've heard that there's one season that's just like very slow and very plot.
That's why I give it that praise though, because so for the uninitiated, Vinland Saga takes place in Viking times. And it's about a boy who he lives in Iceland. His father was a Viking warrior in the past, but he wanted to escape the violence. So he took his family to Iceland. So this boy has never experienced violence or anything in his life. One day the Viking army comes because they want his dad to like join their ranks again. He refuses and ends up, there's a slave that runs away and he sort of gives him like a proper burial type deal, and that gets him in trouble with the Vikings. And so he has to do a deal where he goes and does something, and then the Vikings end up talking to this kind of like a mercenary, a leader of a mercenary crew, who is like, hey, I want you to go kill the dad. This is all like this is the setup to the series, basically. Like this isn't like long-term spoilers. They basically ambush the dad. The dad says, hey, your job, your mission is to kill me. If you do that, I will let you do that. No fight if you let my son and all of these other like boys from the village go. He does that, but ends up, so the boys from the village go back home, but the main character stays with the mercenary. The mercenary sort of becomes his father figure after that point, and he like travels with this mercenary Viking group and is entered into this life of violence. He wants revenge for his dad, and he wants to kill the guy who ends up becoming that sort of father figure. And it's so crazy, and it is a very violent show. Animated by the guys who did Attack on Titan. So like, if you know the animation that they're capable of, it's crazy. And that first season is he's almost, the main character is almost not even a character in that first season. Like, he is very much just, I'm hell bent on revenge.
the foil of I'm following this guy around just so I can learn how to beat him so I can kill him.
Yes, it's more the father figure, the mercenary. It's more his story in the first season. Mm-hmm. The second season, yeah, absolutely, it slows down like a lot and becomes a lot more character driven. Thorfinn, the main character, gets to become more of a character. Like all of these things, he gets to sort of like be a character and evolve and develop from there. And it's the way that it does it and the way that it like sets up. Like I honestly wouldn't even call season 2 slow. I would call it tense. It's tense the entire time because you can see the dominoes being set up and you know how they're going to fall. And you're like, oh God, oh no. Oh, what is going to happen? This is going to be bad. And the way that it all comes together in the end is just so good. I've never, besides maybe Full Metal Alchemist, I don't think I've ever seen something come together quite so perfectly.
I mean, I would argue that Code Geass kind of does something very similar.
I've never watched Code Geass. I've always meant to.
Interesting.
You never watched Code Geass?
Very interesting.
I watched Guilty Crown though, and people told me that was very similar, and I didn't like Guilty Crown.
Guilty Crown.
Never watched Guilty Crown.
No, Code Geass is everything that you just explained is all of Code Geass. Like that is what Code Geass is.
The only thing I know about Code Geass is the desk scene.
Yeah, for those who don't know what Code Geass is, basically, this guy gets this ability that he can use on people to get them to do whatever he wants. And he runs with it and like leads like a mercenary group. A group of like freedom fighters fighting against a monarchy. And I won't go any further than that. Go watch Code Geass. It's pretty good. I highly recommend.
Yeah. One of the better endings in anime, in my opinion.
Oh my God, that the way I can explain the ending of Code Geass is it is a car crash, and the car crash ends with them somehow perfectly parallel parking the car.
Yeah,
that is the ending of Code Geass.
I want to get around to it at some point because I've heard a lot of good things.
It's only 2 seasons too, so not too long of a watch. But speaking of Brody's stuff, let's get into Brody's list right now with the time we have left. Brody is a lot more liberal with his 10s. That's the first thing I will say.
Yes.
Yeah, I already see, gosh, Beyblade as a 10.
Love it.
That one I recently did. I will say Beyblade is one I have not watched since I was a child. I literally like this week put that one on there and I'm just like, yeah, Beyblade rips, bro. 10.
It makes it. The one that is the most you isn't Gintama, but instead Orin High School Host Club.
Banger show. Orin High School Host Club. Banger show.
But that is the most Brody anime I can think of.
No, I can definitely come up with more. Like Spice and Wolf is on there too. Spice and Wolf is one that I'm kind of shocked that you've.
Very good.
Yeah, I know that show is good. I'm just very shocked that's on there for you, as high as it is. That one's a very interesting one.
Well, because Spice and Wolf is so funny because it's like, again, I watched most of these anime that are going to be on here are, if they came out in the last 15 years, I probably watched them 15 years ago, right? Like
you watched them when they came out.
Or I watched them when they came out or shortly after they did, right? Like a lot of 2008 stuff, like very much when I was like 14, 15, 16, 17, a little bit into my first years of college. So Spice and Wolf was very much like, come for Wolf Girl, stay for economics.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
Economics is crazy.
Sold. I'll watch it right now.
Spice and Wolf.
I think they remade it.
They're currently remaking it. Yeah.
I saw something about that.
They are currently remaking it. Are you the only person of the three of us? No. Sean watched Death Note too. I for some reason I didn't see Death Note on Sean's list, and I was like, wait a minute, is Brody the only one that's seen Death Note?
No, I watched Death Note
because that's the one that like people will be like, hey, you want to learn what anime is? And
they go to that.
Here's Death Note.
I understand
think that Death Note is the opening. Do you think that's a good like introductory show?
No,
for normies,
honestly,
yes.
I actually don't.
For normies,
I
yes.
don't. But the thing is I would say there are two ways to enter anime. You can enter anime with a show that has a heavy metal opening, or you can enter anime with a show that has a butt rock opening. I think you should always go with the butt rock opening. I think the heavy metal openings are for later. And this makes sense. It does make sense because the butt rock openings is the stuff that's going to be a little bit more lighthearted. It's going to be your FMAs, your Soul Eaters, and things like that. Your heavy metal openings are going to be like your Death Notes, even your Vinland Sagas, which I'm not going to recommend to someone that's just starting anime.
You do not watch Vinland Saga as your first anime.
No.
That is not.
It's just too intense, and like Death Note is melodramatically intense. Like it's almost funny in how kind of like over the top it is. It's
I feel
a
like
little silly.
I feel like it's the most mom introductory anime. It's like, hey, I know you like to watch Snapped and those kind of crime scene things. Here, watch this.
Like if someone's in a true crime, you send a Death Note.
Yeah, and then your mom's like, oh, I like this. Okay.
It's a fun cat and mouse story, right? Like it's almost like Breaking Bad, as weird as the comparison as that is. It's
it kind of is.
No, I can see it.
It very much so is, yeah.
Like watch the bad guy be good at being the bad guy to the point where you're almost rooting for him and thinking like, oh, how is he going to get out of it next? How is he going to do it next? And then eventually like rooting for his downfall. It's very much that kind of show. And it's, I wouldn't call it the greatest. I wouldn't even call it anywhere close to the greatest, but it's very fun. It's very entertaining.
Yeah, I think it lost steam after like one specific character dies. And then I was like, okay, which like
when it goes
kind of hard to overcome
that.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, there's still parts that I like in part 2, but like once that death happens, I'm like, okay. Then it just feels like, oh, one of the next people. I'm like, oh, that's like just a.
But in a lot of ways, it is. They're both playing the same game of like, I'm going to set up the most rigorous, Rube Goldberg machine-esque plot, and they both get to do that.
Yeah.
It's fun.
One is more satisfying than the other, but one is more long-term than the other, and then I don't know, they're both really cool.
I get it.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. Death Note's like a solid one to just watch once you've watched. I think like you don't have to like be like super into it to watch it, but I say like don't make it like your first, second, third. Sure, don't make it your.
What do
first.
you think What do you think should be someone's
I was
first?
like, going to that. What is the best introductory anime to you, Brody?
Don't you say Hamtaro?
So the one that I started with was Full Metal Alchemist 03. Right, my buddy put that on about halfway in, and then I went and rewatched it from the beginning. And I actually didn't watch Brotherhood until many, many years later, even though it was, I think, just all out at the time. I was just like, I put it off because I was like, oh, I don't know, I liked this one so much, and the movie was such a good ending, and all of these things. But I started with like the 4 or 5 anime I think I started with were Full Metal Alchemist 03, Soul Eater, which is a solid one, but that is also a similar situation to 03, where it does have an original ending that it's not like the manga, and unfortunately we still don't have like a Brotherhood of that show. Although I'm hopeful that once Fire Force anime finishes, because it's by the same author, I'm hopeful that maybe they'll actually go and do a Soul Eater Brotherhood. I think that would make a lot of sense, especially since Fire Force is kind of it's a whole thing. The other ones I watched were Darker Than Black, which was a little bit more serious in tone, but not quite to the point of your Vinlands and your Death Notes and your Attack on Titans. It was just it's fun. Darker Than Black is actually where I get my affinity for characters with electricity-based powers. Eat Your Heart Out, Infamous. But right, and then it was Oran. Oran was one of my first as well.
Oran Horse Club.
That is an interesting one to be a first because it is.
It's a
shoujo rather than a shonen, right? Like it's a different genre. It's a reverse harem anime where it's like one girl surrounded by a bunch of like quote unquote hot guys that all are. It's like, oh, who will she end up with? But it's also a parody of that genre.
Yeah, because the whole gimmick of it is that she like male presents and is part of the hosts and is a host.
Yeah,
right.
And it's very much like it's the first anime that a lot of people I think will see that it's one to like challenge gender norms and challenge this idea of like, all these different things, and like all of the male characters, they're all supposed to be like these classic stereotypes of the genre, but then the series takes that, and where it starts out they're very silly, very much those stereotypes. It sort of like as the season goes on fleshes them out to be more characters and like who they are behind that persona they put on like for their role in the host club. It's really good, and I think it's a doorway into a genre of anime that most people they pass it by, at least like I think in the West, because you're going for your battle animes a lot of the time, and certain slice of lives get in there, but then you know, there's a balance. I think a lot of the slice of life that get popular are the ones where it's like cute girls doing cute things and not one that is actually trying to have substance like Oron.
Yo, like Bocce the Rock. Bocce the Rock is the epitome of cute girl do cute thing.
So
maybe, I don't know. I haven't watched it.
I'm going to say...
I wouldn't say that.
Okay, I take that back. Weird.
I'm going to say that
didn't watch it.
If you're wanting to get into anime, if you haven't ever watched any anime, I think the answer is still Full Metal Alchemist, and I am obviously biased on that take. And
I can see it, though.
I know that because like there's people that get into it with Brotherhood, and I don't think it's like wrong. I mean, I do think it's wrong, but I don't think it's like abhorrent to watch Brotherhood first. Because it's just so good. Like, you will just love it. It is amazing. It's incredible. But 03 does this thing where about halfway into that series, it becomes original because they didn't have any more runway. The manga wasn't finished. And so what Brotherhood does is it takes what 03 covered in like 28 episodes and covers it really fast in like 13 episodes. Kind of assuming you've already seen 03, because they're like, yeah, we know we have to get through this because it has to be here for structure, but like we know you've seen that, and we'll fill in the blanks as best we can, but like we want to get to the new stuff, and then it's like 50 more episodes after that 13 episode point of like entirely new stuff, and it's incredible, it's wonderful, but like 03 is still, I think, really good in its own right, and it has a movie that sort of is the actual ending of the series, and it's one of the best anime movies I've ever seen. Worth the price of admission alone. And there's this weird phenomenon where people who watch Brotherhood first love it, and then they go and watch 03 and they hate it. Whereas people who watch 03, people who watch 03 love it or at least like it, and then they still love Brotherhood. So it's like, by watching 03 first, you're basically maximizing your enjoyment of the series.
I think it's one
otherwise
of those...
it comes off slow. But
yeah, I was going to say it's one of those things where it feels more stretched out if you watch the other one first compared to, you know, because like you said, you have to go through all those episodes. It's kind of like how like Dragon Ball Z was like still going with the manga and what have you, so they had to stretch out episodes, and then they have Dragon Ball Z Kai, which
it trims all the fat.
I get people, but also kind of gets rid of a lot of good moments because you don't. Like, for example, one of the things that like really got me as a kid was Yamcha giving himself up because he knew something bad was going to happen in the Saiyan Saga. He's like, hey, Krillin, you died already. I haven't died. I just have a really bad feeling. We don't know what we're up against. I know you want to fight first. I will go out there and do this first. And so he did it like kind of like in a way as a sacrifice because he has a bad gut feeling like someone's going to die. I'm going up to bat.
And then he becomes
and
a jobber.
You don't see that in Kai. And you don't see that in Kai. You don't see a lot of those moments in Kai, which, there's a lot of moments like that you see in Dragon Ball Z and even the manga that you don't really get in Kai. Granted, Kai is like the shortest way to go through everything, but it's still like a lot of the meat and potatoes you get with Dragon Ball Z, despite it also giving you like a random Reese's cup in the middle of like eating your meat and potatoes. It's like, okay, this doesn't go with it. It's good, I guess, but
it has nothing to do with what we're doing.
Yeah, it's like, all right, cool.
And as a point of order, if somehow you have made it to the year of 2025 and do not know the central premise of Full Metal Alchemist, it is basically a world in which the science, quote unquote, science of alchemy has advanced and is an actual real science that you can like exploit and do all kinds of different things with
and apply.
To the point where two brothers want to bring back their dead mom from she died. They want to bring her back to life. So they get all of the components and they kind of like basically build the shell of a body. And they're like, okay, we're gonna use alchemy to bring her back, but they can't. That's it. How do you get a human soul is the central thing of it. And like, so everything goes wrong. It goes haywire. It like turns on them. And one of the brothers' bodies gets like sucked into a portal while the other brother loses his leg. And then in order to save the younger one, the older one that lost the leg sacrifices his own arm to at least get his brother's soul back, bonds it to a suit of armor. And the whole series is they're like, okay, we know we can't get our mom back, but we might be able to get our bodies back, or at least the younger brother's body. So the whole premise is that they join the military, which uses alchemy for military purposes, but they do that in order to get access to like information, to like find a mythical thing that allows them to use alchemy without having to do equivalent exchange, because the whole idea behind alchemy is you can only get what you give. Like, it has to be equal.
Yeah, equal and opposite.
Equal returns.
Equal exchange.
So it's a really cool power system where it has defined rules of how it works, and then the ways. I always like a nice. I like a good hard power system. I'm not a fan of soft power systems. Hard power systems are more rewarding because when you see the ways that the characters are able to exploit them and do different things, and it makes sense within a set of rules that you understand, it's so satisfying. Plus, it's not an anime that goes and it says, I'm going to shout out the name of my attack every time I attack. People just do stuff. They just fight the way that they fight, and it's cool. It's awesome.
Yeah, I always remember that Envy and Mustang thing. Yeah. Also, fun fact. Speaking of Full Metal Alchemist, I didn't tell either one of you this, but for an anime convention that I was supposed to go to, my friends and I, we were gonna go as bald individuals from different kind of anime. So like, one was gonna be Blaine and what have you, from Pokemon. And I was going to be Armstrong.
Senator Armstrong. That's good.
But the one thing that we were doing that was special was we were all going to be bunny girls. So now I have a bunny girl outfit with a bald cap.
And you didn't wear it for this episode?
Yeah, right?
I don't own the bald cap.
You should have. No, but the bunny girl outfit is perfect for the anime. You got the bunny girl outfit,
right? Yeah. Gosh. I came prepared for the anime episode.
Where's your bunny girl outfit?
I could put Scrum in a bunny girl.
Now.
No, not now. We have to go do the Patreon question of the week now.
What's that?
So this is something that we do where if you join our Patreon, it's I think $2 a month. You can just throw as many questions as you want in there. This week's question is coming from Mick Yeager. Think of the most recent game that you've played that isn't a Sonic game. Would it be easier or harder if the player character was Sonic?
Most recent game I played, still Lies of P. So,
would it be easier or harder if it was Sonic?
It would probably be much easier.
Because yes doesn't answer anything for me, Brody.
No. Well, because Sonic is one of those.
Come back to life.
Sonic is in the Power Scaling Hall of Fame. Like that dude is multiversal.
But does he have any of the Chaos Emeralds there?
I don't think he needs them.
Yeah, no? He doesn't even really need them.
Actually, yeah, no, he'd be very fast.
He would just be able to just go around everybody and backstab.
Yeah, he would also. Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, he can just like create electricity. So yeah, no, he wins.
He win.
Yeah,
he actually decimates that entire place.
You put Sonic in any Souls game, he's going to win. I don't care if he's up against the Eldritch gods of Bloodborne. He's going to win.
I think you're right. I mean, Sonic has killed gods before. He can do it again.
Exactly.
Right. The last game I played was MLB Power Pros. So
yeah,
I don't.
Okay. So he's got good running stats, but can he bat?
I don't know if the batting stats are gonna like match to all the batters that I was using, but he would definitely be really good at fielding and running.
Yeah,
he wouldn't be. I don't know. He could be a good pitcher.
I don't know, because like
I think if you put fast.
But the issue is if you're the pitcher, the person that's the catcher has to be able to catch the ball.
Right, so you have to control it. So there's a lot of like conditioning that he'd have to do.
Yeah, and you'd have to find a catcher that can catch his pitches.
Yeah,
so
he does play baseball in the movie. But last one I played was Donkey Kong Bonanza. Yeah,
I don't. Do you think he'd be able to break the world like Donkey Kong does?
I think he'd have to do it in a different way.
You could like.
You couldn't just like take a chunk out of the earth.
He can't just rip chunks of earth out of the ground.
Unless we're giving him the straight up like the power scaling argument.
He's never been able to break.
But he could
earth.
Because he put his hands on the earth and like vibrate at such a frequency that it breaks apart.
He could, but that's not a thing that he does in games.
I guess so.
I could see it. It's one of those things that I find like he could do, but like I feel like it'd be a very not fun experience. Whereas essentially he'd just be like hopping on the same spot over and over again, trying to break it. So like I think he could do it. It just would take him an extra 10 years.
Yeah, he would not have as easy of a time as Donkey Kong does in Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Yeah, Donkey Kong just fists everything and he wins.
That's true. I played that game. He does do that.
You just do that.
But
Good game.
Good. It is a good game. But yeah, that is the episode for this week. We're gonna roast Brody more about his takes next time because
I was just say I feel like we barely touched mine,
Brody,
and I have bared my sins.
Yeah, Brody got off pretty unscathed. So we're gonna have to circle back to Brody at some other point.
We'll circle back when Chris has watched some more anime because he's really getting into it now, and I'm curious to see where he rates a lot of.
Yeah, he was also really interested in joining this episode, but he didn't have enough on his list to go and actually do an episode on, so we had to kind of do it with us three.
Yeah, so we'll return. We'll return.
Yeah, we'll do more of this.
CRUBCAST will be back.
Yes.
Yay! Hopefully.
Until then, this has been JTart9 with Wolfkaosaun and Racks.
Go watch
We'll see you in the next one.
Now let's all go play some Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links.